What is up, ladder climbers? Antoine Wade here from Elevate to the Unknown and nextgen.com, nextgenhikes.com, that is. And it is Thursday, October the 16th at 7 a.m. Central, and we are live on a daily climb. While you guys slept, a federal judge said no. Judge Susan Ilston from San Francisco on Wednesday evening, she issued a temporary restraining order blocking Trump's administration from firing more federal workers. And she said this: you cannot do that in a country governed by laws. She called the layoffs politically motivated. 4,100 federal workers have already been fired since Friday. And this judge said, you know what? You can't fire anymore. But here's the thing. The judge can't bring those 4,100 back. But what she did do, she blocked more layoffs. The White House says that 10,000 total workers are getting cut. The judge says, not on my watch. And while you slept, the Senate, they failed for the 9th time yesterday. 5:30 p.m., Wednesday evening. The vote, 51 to 44. They need 60 votes, guys. And they got only 51. And that's the 9th time that they tried. The 9th time that they failed. And this morning, right now, they're preparing to vote again. The 10th time at 11 a.m. Eastern, 4 hours or so from now. Do you think it'll pass? That's the question that I have for you guys. Type yes if you think it'll pass. Type no in the chats if you think it will fail again. I might as well go ahead and type no because I think it's going to fail again. Day 16 of the government shutdown. 750,000 federal workers not getting paid. 4,750 fired already this week alone. The judge blocked future cuts, but the damage is already done in private companies. Guess what they're doing? They're cutting too. Xerox, they announced layoffs last night. Novo Nordisk, the diabetes company, the one who makes all the Wegovy and the Ozempic, they are laying off workers all week. Nobody's safe. Week 2, day 4, today's actions. What did we talk about on yesterday? You need to message your 5 people. On yesterday, you researched 5 target companies. Today, you message 5 people, 1 at each company. And I'll show you exactly what to say, how to get responses, and what to avoid. LinkedIn messages get 10 to 15% response rates. Top performers get 25 to 30% response rates. And I'll show you how to be a top performer. The show today is going to be about 55 minutes. You know me, I'm a little bit long-winded, so it may go a little bit longer. Who knows? Judge blocks chaos. Senate votes again. Kent Ha, a 37-year-old, Intel just laid him off. This is his 3rd layoff in 10 years. How to message 5 people while manufacturing jobs are exploding and while Oracle certification ends in 14 days. Guys, let's climb. The judge blocked government layoffs, called them illegal, politically motivated, but she can't stop private companies. Let me show you what happened overnight. Senate failed for the 9th time, voting 10th time today. Xerox cutting after buying another company. Novo Nordisk is laying off thousands. This is day 16, and there is no end in sight. I want you guys to stay with me in this next segment. Before we get there, Antoine, good to see you. AI Letter says no. Jason says no. Take Back Trey says that's a mean get down. I love it, guys. Good to see you this morning. Good to see you guys this morning. Let's jump into segment 1, guys. Let's jump into it right away. Let me break down what happened yesterday evening, because this is historic. Judge Susan Ilston, United States District Court, San Francisco. She's a federal judge appointed by President Bill Clinton way back in the days, back in the 90s. You know, when Bill Clinton was the president, you guys were still young. I was still young. But Wednesday evening, she issued a temporary restraining order blocking the Trump administration from continuing mass layoffs of federal workers. And here's what she said. She says that you cannot do that in a country governed by laws. The actions being described are not permissible under the law. She said the layoffs appears to be politically motivated. Now, let me give you guys the numbers. And I'm going to show you the numbers as well, too. But I'm also going to show you what the news is saying about this. But since Friday, October the 10th, 6 days ago, 4,100 federal workers have been fired, not furloughed, permanently fired, gone, pink slips, whatever you want to call it. Treasury Department, Health and Human Services, Education, Housing, Commerce, Energy, Homeland Security, 4,100 people are gone. Tuesday, Russell Vought, he's the White House Office of Management and Budget Director. He said the layoffs will likely exceed 10,000. That's 10,000 federal workers during a government shutdown, when 750,000 are already being furloughed without getting paid. That's a lot of people being let go, man. And the judge heard about this and she said, stop. It needs to stop right now, she says. This is too much. Temporary restraining order. You can't fire anyone else until we have a hearing, she says. That's what she said. I'm going to let you guys listen to what the news is saying about this.
A federal judge has temporarily blocked President Trump from firing over 10,000 federal workers as the government shutdown is well into its third week. But those workers are still trying to make ends meet. NBC's Alice Barr has more from Washington.
As the government shutdown drags on, the stakes are ramping up.
We're getting rid of a lot of things that we never wanted.
And prompting a new legal battle. A federal judge temporarily blocking the Trump administration from laying off federal workers during the shutdown, even as White House Budget Director Russell Vought promised to pick up the pace from the 4,000 already cut this shutdown.
It could grow higher. I think we'll probably end up being north of 10,000.
Vought is a longtime advocate for shrinking the federal government, and Democrats argue the new threats are a continuation of his plan all along.
These employees have been traumatized, in Russ Vought's word, by this administration since Inauguration Day. These are illegal firings.
2 unions sued to prevent the firings that a federal judge in California has now agreed are illegal, writing in part that the Trump administration has, quote, taken advantage of the lapse in government spending and government functioning to assume that all bets are off and the laws don't apply to them anymore. As the fight grows from the courts to Capitol Hill, where Democrats and Republicans are deadlocked over how to reopen the government, everyday people are suffering. Food banks seeing a surge in need. Workers at this one in Alabama describing the struggles of one federal worker family.
They're not getting a paycheck, and this has never happened to them before. And they were embarrassed and humiliated and terrified.
Real world impacts with no end in sight. The judge who temporarily blocked the firings also accused the Trump administration of attempting to punish the opposing political party, while Justice Department attorneys arguing for the administration sought to make the case that losing a job is not an irreparable harm.
You guys heard it. The judge said stop. But here's the thing. The judge order only stops future layoffs. She can't bring back the 4,100 already fired. They're gone. In the White House, they're fighting the order. Russell Vought posted on social media yesterday, we will continue the RIFs no matter what she says. RIF, reduction in force. That's the government speak for permanent layoffs. And he's saying we're going to keep firing people, judge or no judge. So the 4,100 already fired, they're not getting jobs back. The next 5,900 the White House wants to fire, that's the fight. Judge says no, White House says yes. We'll see what happens. But that's what's going on right now. And not only that, let me show you the Senate. Because while the judge was blocking layoffs, the Senate was failing yet again. Wednesday evening, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. They voted on the government funding bill. The vote, 51 yes, 44 no. They need 60 votes to pass because of the filibuster. They got 51, fell 9 votes short. They keep falling. They keep failing. They keep falling. They keep not representing the people. They keep doing the worst job that I've ever seen. That's why I say their paycheck should be tied to just like any other federal worker who's not being paid right now. Because if they weren't getting paid, they would make something work. They would make something work. Type ninth in the chat if you think they'll keep failing and you think they're going to continue to fail. Type ninth in the chat. But this is the 9th time that they voted on this. The 9th time that they failed. Same 3 Democrats voting Republicans. Senators Catherine, I believe her name is Catherine Cortez from Nevada, Angus Kane from Maine, Senator Ron Paul, he was a Republican from Kentucky. He voted no again. But everyone else, same votes as last week. In the week before that, no movement, no negotiation, no compromise. I'll let you listen to this one in the news as well, too. Check this one out.
Today, a vote to fund the government failed for a 9th time. This as hundreds of people are left without work or forced to work without pay during the government shutdown. ABC's Christiane Cordero has the details from Washington.
A 9th vote in the Senate today to fund the government ended as it started, with little common ground between each side of the political aisle. But a key decision from a judge today could change how many people are caught in the crosshairs. A San Francisco judge ruled the administration must stop firing people during the government shutdown, saying the cuts are politically motivated. As the government shutdown begins its 3rd week, roughly 4,000 federal workers have been laid off, with another 750,000 furloughed, not expecting a paycheck until the shutdown ends.
Is really scary. And, luckily I paid my rent this month, but probably a lot of my other bills are going to go unpaid.
The main sticking point, whether to restore Republican cuts to Medicaid and extend Obamacare-era subsidies. This woman from Iowa says she depends on Medicaid and is terrified of how the cuts will affect her.
There are 600,000 other Iowans just like me who can't live without Medicaid.
It's an issue Democrats insist on addressing in order to reopen the government.
We are ready, we are willing, and we are able to negotiate a bipartisan spending agreement that actually meets the needs of the American people.
Republicans, meanwhile, are adamant on passing a temporary spending bill or continuing resolution that addresses the essential parts of keeping a government open.
And this morning, right now, they are preparing to vote again for the 10th time, 11 a.m. Eastern, about 3 hours away from now. Senate Majority Leader John Thune, he's scheduled to vote. Do you think it'll pass? I don't think it's going to pass, guys, because nothing changed overnight. Democrats still want health care subsidies in the bill. Republicans are saying no, let's go with the CR. Nobody's budging, but we're on day 16 of the shutdown. In betting markets, such as Kalshi, they're giving it a 68% chance to shut down last 30 days. And that would be almost 2 more weeks from now. Historic. Now, let me show you private companies as well, because while the government fights, private companies are cutting too. There's a bed of them. Xerox, the printer company, the copier company. Many of you guys know who Xerox is because you used to fax machines. I know you're not old enough. Many of you who aren't old enough may not know what a Xerox machine is. But they are a big company. And Wednesday evening, they announced layoffs. They just bought another company, Lexmark, for $1.5 billion. It's a big acquisition. And now they're cutting jobs because the 2 companies have overlapping positions. And they didn't say how many people they're cutting, but it's in the thousands and maybe tens of thousands. But they did say this: all levels of the organization will be impacted. Managers, engineers, sales, customer service, everybody. Now, let's talk about Novo Nordisk. Many of you guys know them by the make people skinny company, make people look good company, make people look crazy company, whatever you want to call them. But Novo Nordisk, the pharmaceutical company, they make Ozempic and they make Wegovy, the diabetes and weight loss drugs. They started laying off people on Tuesday of this week. Layoffs continue through next week. How many? 9,000 workers around the globe. In the U.S., they did not say the exact numbers, but it's hundreds, potentially even thousands. Which departments are they talking about laying off? HR, legal, marketing, finance, clinical research, medical affairs, compliance, white-collar jobs, office jobs, people with degrees. Hopefully you guys see the pattern. The government's trying to fire 10,000. Xerox cutting after acquisition. Novo Nordisk is cutting 9,000 around the globe. Amazon announced 15% HR cuts on Monday. That's almost 10,000 people. And yesterday, Goldman Sachs said this, what we talked about. Jobless growth is likely to be normal. Companies can grow. They can make money. They can expand. But they are doing it without hiring people. That's the new economy. Career lesson for you all. Judge Ilston can block the government, but she cannot block Xerox. She can't block Novo Nordisk. She can't block Amazon. Private companies do whatever they want to do. And what they want is to use AI to do more work with fewer people. That's why week 2, day 4 matters. You can't just apply to random jobs because companies aren't hiring randomly. You have to message people, build connections, get remembered. That's today's actions. And I'll show you exactly how to do that in segment 4 today. I want you guys to stay with me through the show. But first, let me show you Kent Ha, 37 years old, Portland, Oregon. Intel just laid him off. You know about the Intel layoffs. They laid off over 20,000 people this year. This is his 3rd layoff in 10 years. He is using ChatGPT to write his resume. He's removing dates from his college degrees because he's worried about age discrimination at 37 years old. He's a young man. Don't get me wrong. There's some 37-year-olds who are doing some crazy things. I mean, like CEOs of companies and so forth. But 37 years old in the workforce is a young man still. But this is real. This is what's happening. I don't want you guys to stay with me. You just saw the judge block government layoffs, but 4,100 already fired. Xerox cutting, Novo Nordisk cutting, Senate voting for the 10th time today. Now, let me show you Kent Ha from Intel, 37, 3rd layoff using ChatGPT just to survive. But also Patrick Lung. He's 53, worked for Google in AI, says the barrier to break in AI is lower than ever. 2 sides of the same story. One guy struggling, one guy is thriving. What's the difference? AI skills. I want you guys to stay with me on this one, okay? Let me introduce you to Kent Ha, 37 years old, lives in Portland, Oregon. He worked at Intel. Digital marketing strategist. July 9th, 2025. That's this year, 3 months ago. Intel laid him off. This is Kent's 3rd layoff in the past 10 years. 2015 was his first layoff, company restructuring. 2020, 2nd layoff, pandemic. 2025, 3rd layoff. Intel outsourced his team's work to another company. Type 3rd if you see that as brutal. Pretty brutal. This man went through 3 layoffs in a matter of, I mean, like, you got to think about it. A matter of 10 years? That's quite a bit. That is quite a bit. I want to see you guys in the chat. Type 30 if you think that's a lot and you think that's brutal. But Kent, he has a bachelor's degree, new media communications. And guess where it's from? It's from Oregon State. So he's a Beaver. He also has an MBA from George Fox University. He's worked at multiple companies. He's got experience. He's got the education. Smart fellow. But here's the thing. He can't find work. Here's what Kent said in his interview to Business Insider. The job search is particularly challenging compared to past experiences. He said this, I'm only hearing back for entry-level roles despite my experience. He's 37 years old, guys, with an MBA, getting callbacks for entry-level jobs. He also said, I'm seeing an increase in scams. Fake job postings, fake recruiters, people trying to steal his information, people trying to steal his money. And guess what he says? He also says that typically these scams, they're pretty looking women with an avatar and things like LinkedIn, acting like they're recruiters. If you guys are seeing this in the chats, let me know. Type scams in the chats. Now, here's what Kent is doing to survive. Number one, He's using ChatGPT to update his resume. So he types in the job description. He has ChatGPT to rewrite his resume to match it. And AI is helping him to apply for jobs because humans, they aren't responding. Number two, he's removing dates from his resume. So he's taking the graduation years, his graduation dates off his degrees. He's removing dates from his past jobs. Why, he says. Why is he doing this? What do you guys think in the chat? I want to know. He's doing it because of age discrimination. He thinks that 37 years old, he's being discriminated against because of his age. At 37 years old, he's already worried about companies thinking he's too old. Number three, he is pursuing certifications though. So he pursued a certified Scrum product owner. That's a project management certification. He's trying to add skills. He's trying to stay relevant. He's trying to show that he's learning. Now, here's Kent's advice, and I want you guys to really hear this. He said this: if you're in this sort of situation, take a breath, as it is hard as it is. It might be the only time in your career when you can pause. And here's the thing. I'll say this to you guys. I respect Kent. I respect him for, doing his interview with Business Insider. I respect him for the work that he does. I respect him for the young man and the hustle that he has in him. I feel for Kent. I do. But I got to be real with you all. Kent can't pause. He needs a job. If you are struggling out there, you need a job. He's been searching for 3 months. That advice, take a break. That's what you say when you don't know what else to say. Kent is struggling, and he's doing everything that he can. ChatGPT, removing dates, getting certifications. But here's what Kent isn't doing. He's not messaging 5 people at target companies. He's not building connections on LinkedIn. He's not asking for 15-minute information in interviews. That's what week 2, day 4, today's action is all about. And I'm going to show you guys how. But first, let me show you the other side of this, okay? Let me show you the other side. You got Patrick Loon, 53 years old. He worked at Google for 10 years on the Google Duplex AI team. You know what Duplex is? That's the AI that can call restaurants and make reservations for you. And it sounds like a real person. Hey, my name is Trey. I need to make a restaurant reservations to Steakhouse. That's what it does. It allows you to make a restaurant reservation to a steakhouse. Patrick, he helped build that functionality using AI. 2019, he left Google, became a CTO of a financial services company. A CTO is a chief technology officer, so he's a smart guy. Now, he's a CTO of Faro Health, using AI for clinical drug trials. Patrick gave an interview this week to Business Insider, and he talked about a couple of things. One, he says this: the barrier to getting involved in this field, the field of AI, is lower than it ever has been. The barrier to AI is lower than ever. You no longer have to train your own model. You don't need a PhD. You don't need to be a computer scientist. You don't need to build AI from scratch. You just need to know how to use it. Many of you guys who are using AI, many of you guys who want to use AI, type barrier in the chat if that sounds like that's good news. I'm going to type it in the chat because I do think that's good news. And Patrick said it. Even coding is becoming automated thanks to vibe coding. We talked about vibe coding on yesterday's show. Vibe coding using Lovable, using Replit, tools where you can describe what you want and AI builds it for you. Patrick said his number one tip: build real world experience. Apply AI to actual business problems. He gave an example. He says a recruiter friend who had no coding experience, he used AI to personalize outreach messages to candidates. And what did it do? It improved response rates. That's AI skills. No coding, just prompting AI to do the work. Now let me connect Kent and Patrick. Kent, 37, worked at Intel, worked in digital marketing, third layoff, using ChatGPT to write his resume. Patrick, he's 53 years old. He worked at Google. He was an AI engineer. Now he's a CTO. And he says barrier is lower than ever. He should know because he's a chief technology officer. But what's the difference? Patrick built AI skills. Kent is using AI, but not building with it. Patrick says apply AI to business problems. Kent is applying AI to his resume. You guys see the gap there? Type gap if you see the difference. Let me know if you guys see the difference. I want to see you in the chat, okay? Now, let me show you the money. Because AI skills, how much more do they pay? Well, research came out this year. Workers with AI skills make 28% more than workers that do not. I mean, this is the data that's out there. And the research is out there, and the research continues to come out. 28% more. If you make $60,000 and add AI, now you make $76,000. Okay? If you make $80,000, add AI skills, now you make $102,000. Okay? 28% premium. Workers with 2 or more AI skills, 43% premium. That's 4-3. 60,000 becomes 85,000. 80,000 becomes 114,000. If you guys think this is worth learning, type premium in the chat. I think it's worth learning. But specific roles, AI product manager, 150,000. Netflix pays up to 900,000 for AI product managers. AI research scientist, 130,000. We had AI and me who came onto the show and talked about getting $300,000 packages. I had somebody who came in the chats the other day. These jobs don't exist. Man, you don't know what you're talking about. Don't be listening to these people. Meta, OpenAI, top of the market, AI engineer, median, 160,000. That's the median. Half make more, half make less. Kent Ha, he's using ChatGPT to write resumes. Patrick Long, he's building AI products. Kent's looking for entry-level jobs. Patrick's a CTO making $200,000 plus. AI skills, that's the difference. That's the career lesson I want you guys to pick up on today. Don't just use AI. Learn to build with it. Patrick said the barrier is lower than ever. He's right. You don't need a computer science degree. You don't need to go back to school. You need to take Oracle's free AI certification, 14 days left. It ends October the 31st. You need to take AWS AI certification, 50% off, 18 days left, ends November the 4th. You need to build a project, use ChatGPT to analyze data, use AI to solve a problem at work. That's how to go from Kent to Patrick. This is the solution, guys. I'm giving it to you right now. Thursday morning. Typically, I would have a guest on the show, but I'm giving it to you myself, raw and uncut. Type learning if you're getting AI skills. We are on week 2, day 4. Message 5 people, but don't message anyone. Message people with AI skills. Ask them how they learn, what they recommend. That's networking. That's positioning. Kent's been searching 3 months. Still can't find work. Don't be Kent 6 months from now. Be Patrick. Learn AI. Build with it. Get paid for it. You just saw Kent Ha, third layoff, using ChatGPT to survive. Patrick Long says AI barrier is lowest ever. I'll tell you like this right now. This show, this channel, I use a lot of AI. I'm only able to create this amount of content because I have AI experience. I'm able to get this sort of news, breaking news, that I'm able to report on it, that you're going to hear other news stations drop about it later on today and tomorrow, where I'm talking and giving it to you ahead of time. And I'm using AI. That's how you build. That's how you use it to solve problems. That's how you use it to fill in the gaps. Now, let me show you AI companies raising money. There's going to be a company called Jack and Jill. Well, there is a company called Jack and Jill. They do AI recruitment. $20 million they just raised. Founded 6 months ago. But here's the thing, Sequoia Capital, one of the biggest venture firms, they says this: venture capital is return-free risk. Too much money is chasing too few winners. Two sides of AI, but which one is real? I want you guys to stay with me on this segment, okay? Let me show you two AI stories from yesterday because they somewhat contradict each other, but I want to give it to you in its raw form, and I want us to use the data to determine the path. Story one, excuse me. AI is booming. Companies are raising millions, changing the world. Story two, AI is a bubble. Too much money. Most companies will fail. Both true. But let me show you guys, okay? Jack and Jill. That's the name of the company. Jack and Jill. It's an AI recruitment startup. They're based out of London. They were founded 6 months ago, this year in 2025. Yesterday, October the 15th, they announced a $20 million raise for Series A. The question is, what do? Well, they have two AI agents, one called Jack and one called Jill. Jack, he works with job seekers. You upload your resume, your LinkedIn, Jack interviews you for 20 minutes. Ask about your skills, your experience, what you are looking for. Jack then coaches you, tells you how to improve your resume, gives you feedback. Jill works with companies. Companies will tell Jill what role they are hiring for. Jill reviews applicants, sources candidates, conducts initial interviews. AI doing recruiting on both sides. That's what Jack and Jill is. If you guys have heard of this company before, let me know. Put it in the chats. Type Jack and Jill in the chats. But how many people use it today? Well, 49,000 job seekers are using it right now. They are on the platform right now as I'm speaking to you all. Some of the clients, companies using Jack and Jill to hire: Airtable, Airwallex, TrueLayer. These are tech companies that you've probably heard of. Pricing, it's free for job seekers. Companies pay 10% of the new hire's base salary. So if they hire someone making $100,000, Jack and Jill gets $10,000. Founded 6 months ago. Already 49,000 users. $20 million raised. That's the AI boom story. Just 6 months ago, guys. I mean, they were doing stuff that already exists, but just using AI. Now, let me show you the other side. Sequoia Capital. Roelof Botha. He's a partner at Sequoia Capital, one of the most famous venture capital firms in the world. Sequoia, they're known, very well known, because they've invested into top companies like Google, Apple, YouTube, Instagram, WhatsApp, Airbnb. They know how to pick winners. They know how to invest in companies. But Roelof gave an interview on yesterday, October the 15th, and here's what he said. He says, I think there's a huge problem with the venture industry. There's too much money. Let that sink in. Too much money. That's what he's saying. Venture capital firms, they basically invest $150 billion every year in startups. That's a lot of money. And here's the thing, the interest rates have been very, very high, but they're still investing that amount of money. When interest rates drop, they're probably going to invest a little bit more. But $150 billion. And Roelof says that's too much. Why? Here's his reasoning. He says there aren't enough good companies to invest in. There's not that many good companies to invest in. He says the majority of these companies are garbage, fake, doing things that are going to fail. Here's the math. Figma, design software company, sold to Adobe for $20 billion. Deal fell through, but valued at $20 billion. Roloff said this: you need 40 Figmas a year for the industry to make the returns work. 40 companies worth $20 billion each every year. How many companies actually reach that? Only 20 per year on average over the past 20 to 30 years. So venture capital needs 40 Figmas, but only gets 20 of them. That's a problem. That's what Roloff is saying now. He also says this: I don't think venture is an asset class, not even an asset class, meaning it doesn't reliably make money. He called it a return-free risk. You take all the risk, you get no return. So most startups fail. Most VC funds lose money. So let me connect this. Jack and Jill, AI recruitment, 20 million raised, 49,000 users. Sounds great. Sounds really good. I mean, it sounds good to me, right? Sounds good to you, right? I'm going to send you in the chat. It says that, wow. Renee says, wow. But Sequoia's partners, they say most AI startups will fail. Too much money chasing too few winners. So will Jack and Jill succeed, or will they be one of the failures? Here's the thing. Nobody knows. Nobody. Career lesson, though. Don't just look for AI companies. Look for AI companies with revenue, with customers, with proof. Jack and Jill have 49,000 users. That's pretty good, especially for only 6 months. But are those users paying? Are companies hiring through Jill? Are they getting results? We don't know yet. Now compare this to TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor. They make the chips that power AI. NVIDIA, Apple, everyone buys from them. Yesterday morning, they reported earnings. Revenue, $33.1 billion, up 30%. Profit, $15.1 billion, up 39%. Beat expectations. TSMC isn't a startup. They're not raising venture capital. They are making money, big money, billions in profits every quarter. That's the difference. Jack and Jill, they might succeed, they might fail. TSMC, they are already winning. And they are in the AI space, in the AI infrastructure space. Week 2, day 3. Yesterday, you researched 5 target companies. Make sure those companies have revenue, not just funding. Make sure they have customers, not just press releases. Make sure they're making money, not just burning a whole bunch of cash. Sequoia says most startups fail. Don't work for a company that's about to fail. Don't sign on to the company that's about to fail. Work for a company that's already winning. That's a career lesson for today. Follow the money, not the hype. You just saw AI Recruitment raising $20 million for a company that was founded 6 months ago. But Sequoia warns most will fail. TSMC making billions. That is real. They're building a mega factory in Arizona. Now, week 2, day 4, message your 5 people at your 5 target companies. Let me show you exactly how. Using LinkedIn responses. We're also going to be talking about LinkedIn response rates and templates that work, what to say, what to avoid. This is your action for today. I want you guys to stay with me on this one, okay? Week 2, day 4. Today's actions. I wanted to make sure I give you guys a game, so I did the research, and not only that, I do this stuff just about every single day. Do it every single day because I'm in sales and I have to make outreaches to people. And I use LinkedIn, I use Sales Navigator, I use LinkedIn Inbox, I use LinkedIn InMail. And it works. It does. But I also like to validate my actual findings with what's out there on the market. So I did some research. On yesterday, which was day 3, you researched 5 companies, 5 target companies that you potentially want to work for. You answered 5 questions about each company. Were they hybrid or remote? Were they actually hiring? Are they using AI? Did they announce any recent layoffs? Is there someone that I can message? By the end of yesterday, you had 5 companies written down. Today, you message one person at each company. 5 messages from 5 different people. Or 5 messages to 5 different people. One at each target company. And I'm going to show you guys how. I'll tell you guys how. First, let me give you guys some data though, so you know that this actually works. LinkedIn cold messages, average response rate, 10 to 15%. 10 to 15%. That means if you message 5 people, you'll probably hear back from 1 person, maybe 2 if you're lucky, which isn't bad. But top performers, people who do this really well, they get 25 to 30% response rates. You message 5 people, you hear back from 1 or 2. How do you become a top performer? I'm about to talk to you guys about how to do that. Messages under 100 words get 22% higher response rates than long messages. Short beats long. It's kind of like TikTok videos. It's kind of like Instagram Reels. It's kind of like whatever it is that catches people's attention. Short beats long. Connection requests with personalization, 45% acceptance rate. Without personalization, 29%. So make sure that you personalize your message when you're sending in a connection request. Don't just send a connection request. Personalize the message. The first 24 hours is critical. 65% of response rates happen in the first day. So send your message, check tomorrow morning, you'll know if they are interested. Now let me talk to you guys about the template. There's 4 parts to it. Every LinkedIn message, there's 4 parts that you need. Part 1, you need the hook. 15 to 20 words. Reference something specific about them. Part 2, you need the context. 20 to 30 words. A brief connection point. Why are you reaching out? Part 3 is the value. 20 to 30 words. What's in it for them? Why should they respond? I like to use, I'll send you a gift card to your favorite steakhouse. Or I'll send you a gift card to Starbucks. Part 4, the soft call to action. 10 to 15 words. Low commitment ask. Easy to say yes. Total message length, under 100 words. Ideally under 75. Okay? Here's an example. Say you researched Whirlpool yesterday. They are hiring. $300 million expansion. 400 to 600 jobs in Ohio. You find someone in LinkedIn. Sarah Martinez, manufacturing engineer at Whirlpool, Marion, Ohio facility. She posted last month about the factory automation. Here's your message to her. Hey, Sarah, saw your post about factory automation at Whirlpool, Marion facility. The point about balancing efficiency with workforce training really resonated with me. I'm researching manufacturing companies in the Midwest and considering Whirlpool's expansion. Would you be open to a 15-minute call to share your experience there? I'd really appreciate the insights. Happy to work around your schedule. Also willing to send you a gift card to your favorite steakhouse. Count the words. That's only 71 words. Hook. Saw your post about factory automation at Whirlpool's Marion facility. That's specific. That's not generic. Shows that you actually looked her up. Shows that you actually did the research. The context. I'm researching manufacturing companies in Midwest and considering Whirlpool's expansion. Tells her why you are reaching out. You're researching. You're considering. The value. 15-minute call to share your experience. there. I'd really appreciate the insight. That's the value. Okay? You're asking for 15 minutes, not an hour. Not a favor, just looking for insights. Call to action. Happy to work around your schedule. Low commitment, you're flexible. Easy, yes. That's basically it. Now let me share with you guys what not to say. Mistake number 1, making it all about you. Don't say I'm looking for opportunities and thought you could help. That is selfish. You're asking them to do the work for you. That's what the majority of people who comment on my videos, they ask me to do the work for them. Can you post the links? Can you tell me this? Can you do this? I'm writing the video. I'm creating the video for you. That's free information. Do the work. Don't be selfish. Instead, all you got to do is say, I'm researching companies and I'd appreciate your insight. I'm doing the work and I appreciate your insights on it. You're asking for information, not a favor. Mistake number 2, being vague. Don't say, I love to connect and learn more. Learn more about what exactly? Connect for a specific reason. Connect for what reason? Instead, would you be open to a 15-minute call to share your experience at Whirlpool? You're asking them to give you some breakdowns of why Whirlpool is such a good company. And you're asking for 15 minutes and you're being specific, 15 minutes, and you're being specific about Whirlpool. It's crystal clear. Mistake number 3, sending your resume in the first message. Don't attach files. Don't paste your whole work history. They didn't ask for it. You are reaching out to them. Instead, just ask for a conversation. If they're interested, they will ask for your resume. They will respond to you. Mistake number 4, asking for a job. Don't say, are you hiring? Or can you help me get a job there? That's too direct. That's too aggressive. Instead, say, I'm researching companies. Would you share your experience? You're researching. You're not begging. Those are the mistakes. Now, let me give you guys some actions. Today, right now, after this show ends, go to LinkedIn. Pull up your 5 target companies from yesterday. For each company, find one person, someone in your field, someone doing the job that you want, someone who posted recently. Write them a message using the 4-part template that we just talked about. The hook, the context, the value, the soft call to action. Under 75 words, ideally. Send it between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. That is the time where you will get the best response rates. I like personally 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. around the lunchtime. 5 messages by the end of the day. Tomorrow is Friday, But week 2, day 5, you will check the responses. 1 or 2 will more than likely respond. That's the statistics that's out there. You will schedule 15-minute calls. You will learn about the company. You will learn about the culture. You will learn about the hiring process. And maybe one of those 5 people, they'll remember you. And when a job opens, that's how Joseph got hired. Joseph, the guy that we talked about on Wednesday, when the recruiter that he worked with before remembered him. He applied to 2,000 jobs initially over 2 years and he got nothing. And then he applied to 30 hybrid jobs in his local area. And an old coworker became a recruiter and they remembered him and they called him and they hired him. That's networking. That's week 2, day 4. Now, real quick, if you need help writing your messages, if you want feedback on your templates, if you don't know what to say, book a coaching session with me, www.nextgenheights.com. Also, you can consider joining our Patreon, www.patreon.com/blackheights. We have templates. We have message templates. We have example of messages that gets response rates. I use them. I use them for sales calls. People who got hired from cold LinkedIn messages, they are in the community as well. Okay? $5 a month, less than a coffee. Gets you in, link in the description of this video. But ultimately, what you just learned just now is how to message 5 people. 4-part template, under 75 words. 10 to 15% will respond. Send between 9 and 3 p.m. today. Now, in this next part of the segment, this next part of the show, I want to show you where jobs are actually being created right now. Whirlpool, okay? Many of you guys don't know about the Whirlpool. Well, Whirlpool, $300 million. Ohio expansion, 400 to 600 jobs. Raytheon, let's talk about Raytheon. They're big time, okay? 53 million. Massachusetts, defense manufacturing. Morgan Stanley, let's talk about Morgan Stanley, okay? Record quarter, 18 billion in revenue. While Xerox and Novo Nordisk are cutting, manufacturing and finance are hiring. I want you guys to stay with me on this segment, okay? Let me show you guys where the jobs are actually being created right now, right this week, because the news is all doom and gloom. And I even put it in the title to make it all doom and gloom because that's what you guys want to see, but that's what you want to hear. I got to bait you guys in here so that I can give you guys the information. That's the game. You got to give you the doom and gloom. But at the end of the day, when you watch the show, the Daily Climb Show, we give you solutions as well. And this last segment that I just talked about gave you the solution. Government shutdown, layoffs, Xerox, Novo Nordisk. But here's the thing, jobs exist, just not where they used to be. Whirlpool Corporation, you know them. They make washing machines, they make dryers, they make appliances. On Wednesday, October the 15th, which was yesterday, they announced a $300 million investment in U.S. manufacturing. $300 million, that's real money. Where is it at? Ohio, 2 facilities, Marion and Clyde. That's the reason why I used Marion in the previous segment as the example. What are they building? Well, they're building laundry manufacturing. So wash machines and dryers. How many jobs? 400 to 600 new jobs will be created. About 200 in Marion, the rest in Clyde. And these aren't temporary jobs. These are permanent manufacturing jobs with benefits, with retirement, career jobs. The question is, why is Whirlpool investing in America? Well, they're investing in America because it's cheaper to build here now than to ship from Mexico or China because of the tariffs, because of the trade policy, because of the labor costs. It all adds up. So they're going to be building in America, and it makes a lot of sense. Whirlpool sees it. 300 million, 400 to 600 jobs. While Intel cuts Kent Ha, Xerox cuts after acquisitions, Whirlpool is expanding. Now let me show you the defensive industry. RTX, Raytheon. It used to be called Raytheon, but they're RTX. But they make missiles, they make radar systems, they make defense equipment. And on Wednesday, they announced a $53 million expansion, $53 million in Andover, Massachusetts. What are they building? Lower tier air and missile defense sensor production facilities. That's a whole mouthful, but let me simplify it. They basically are building radars that detect missiles, including hypersonic weapons. 23,000 square foot expansion, completion late 2026. But why is Raytheon expanding? Because global tensions are high in Ukraine, in the Middle East, and in China, and countries are buying weapons, and defense budgets are up. RTX orders, they need to build, and they need people to build them. This all connects to what we talked about on Tuesday. Boeing, $2.7 billion contract, PAC-3 missiles, 750 units per year through 2030. Yesterday, we said defense is hiring while tech cuts. Today, RTX proves it again. $53 million expansion in Massachusetts, defense manufacturing growing. Now, let me show you finance. This finance is making it rain too. They're making all kinds of money. Morgan Stanley, The big investment bank like Goldman Sachs, like JP Morgan, on Wednesday morning, they reported third quarter earnings. Net income, $4.6 billion, up 45% compared to last year. 45%, guys. Earnings per share, $2.80. Analysts expected $2.10. 70 cents beat. Biggest earning beat in almost 5 years. Revenue, $18.22 billion, up 18%, which is a record high. Now, what drove this growth? What drove it? Well, investment banking. Companies doing mergers, acquisitions, IPOs, raising money. Morgan Stanley's investment banking revenue, $2.1 billion, up 44%. That's 44. Trading revenue, $6.28 billion. Equities trading up 35%. Stock went up 4.7% on Wednesday. Investors absolutely loved it. The CEO, Ted Pick, he said this: the capital markets flywheel is taking hold. Capital markets flywheel, that means deals are happening. Money is moving. Activity is up. And interest rates haven't even been cut for the third time yet. Companies are confident. They're buying other companies. They're going public. They're raising capital. And Morgan Stanley makes money on every single one of these deals. Now I want to connect this. This week, we covered bank earnings just about every single day. Friday, JP Morgan. Are they going to beat expectations? Well, actually, you know what? That was last Friday. They beat expectations. On Tuesday, we talked about Goldman Sachs. They beat expectations, but said jobless growth is normal. On Wednesday, we talked about Bank of America. They beat expectations. And today, we're talking about Morgan Stanley. They beat expectations. Record revenue. Banks are making money, record money, but they're not hiring. They're using AI to reduce headcounts. That's jobless growth. Goldman called it on Tuesday. That's the career lesson. Tech companies, Intel, Xerox, Novo Nordisk, Amazon, they're cutting. Manufacturing companies, Whirlpool, Stellantis from yesterday, they are expanding. Defense companies, Boeing, RTX, they are winning contracts and they are building and they are expanding. Financial services, Morgan Stanley, they're making record money, but not hiring frontline workers. They're hiring AI engineers potentially. The jobs have shifted from tech white collar jobs to manufacturing blue collar, from customer service to defense engineering. Your 5 target companies from yesterday, what sectors are they in? If your 5 are tech companies, you may want to reconsider. You may want to add manufacturing companies like Whirlpool. Maybe. You maybe want to add defensive contractors like Boeing, like RTX, like General Dynamics, like Lockheed. Maybe. You may want to add financial services firms. Maybe not Morgan Stanley, but smaller wealth management like Kestra from Tuesday. My whole point here is diversify your targets. Don't put all 5 in the same shrinking sector. If you guys are picking up what I'm putting down, type diversify in the chats. Week 2, day 4. Message 5 people today. Make sure those 5 people are at companies that are growing, not shrinking. Whirlpool is growing. RTX is expanding. Morgan Stanley is booming. The jobs exist. You just have to know where to look. You guys just saw Whirlpool, 300 million, 400 to 60 or 400 to 600 jobs. RTX, 53 million, Massachusetts expansion. Morgan Stanley, record 18 billion quarter. So the jobs exist, especially in manufacturing, defense, and finance. Now let's wrap up, okay? Let's begin and wrap up. Oracle ends in 14 days. AWS, 18. Joseph starts in 11th. Senate votes in 4 or less than 4 hours now. It's more like 2 hours for the 10th attempt. What happens tomorrow, week 2, day 5? We're going to assess your week. I want you guys to stay with me, okay? Last segment. We're going to bring this one home, okay? Today's actions: message 5 people. You researched the 5 target companies yesterday. Today, you message 1 person at each company. 4-part template: the hook, the context, the value, the soft call to action, under 75 words. Send between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. today. Best response times. 10 to 15% will respond. That's 1 person, maybe 2. Tomorrow is Friday. You will check responses, schedule calls. That's how you build connections. That's how Joseph got hired. Networking beats application every single time. Let me remind you about the deadlines because time is running out. Oracle race to certification ends October the 31st. That's 14 days from today. 2 weeks, free AI certifications, free cloud certifications, free database certifications, no cost, no catch, just free training and free exams. Education.com, Oracle/race to certification. 14 days if you haven't started yet. You guys can get started today to learn a little bit more about AI. Patrick Long from the segment 2 that we talked about, he said, barrier to AI is lower than ever. Oracle certification, that's the barrier. It's free. It's 2 weeks. AWS. We talked about them as well too. There's people on LinkedIn talking about this sort of stuff. So if you think I'm full of BS, all you got to do is look online. But AWS AI and machine learning get certified challenge. 50% off 3 certifications, ends November the 4th. That's 18 days from today. AI practitioner, machine learning engineer, data engineer. Normal price $100 to $150 per exam. Sale price $50 to $75. Okay. 18 days, register now. Kent Ha from segment 2. He's pursuing Scrum certifications. You should pursue AWS. It's cheaper, it's more relevant, it's better return on your investment. Okay. Remember Joseph from Tuesday's show? He starts his new job October the 27th. Same day as, some of these references that I've given you guys. We talked about Perscalis. Perscalis is a Phoenix data center training center. Application deadline is October the 27th. That's 10 days from now. If you're in the Phoenix area, consider it. 8-week training program is free. Job placement assistance. If you live near Phoenix, if you want data center work, apply now. 10 days. October the 27th. Same day as the Perscalis deadline. Same day that Joseph, who we talked about a couple of days ago, starts his new job. That man searched 2 years for a job and he finally got hired. He starts in 11 days. You could start training in 11 days if you apply for Perscalis right now. Now, breaking news update. The Senate's voting in about a couple hours, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10th attempt to pass government funding. Do I think they'll pass? No, they're too selfish. Yesterday, they got 51 votes. They need 60, fell 9 short. Nothing changed overnight. Same Democrats, same Republicans, same gridlock. I think they'll fail again for the 10th time. We'll see. I'll basically cover it tomorrow if it passes or if it fails. Either way, we will cover it. Day 16 of the shutdown, longest in history, was 35 days. We're almost halfway there. Tomorrow is Friday, October the 17th, week 2, day 5. We're going to assess your week. Did you do it? Did you do all 4 actions? Day 1 was Monday. Record your 60-second pitch. Day 2, Tuesday, start a certification. Day 3, Wednesday, research 5 companies. Day 4, today, which is Thursday, message 5 people. Day 5, tomorrow, Friday, assess what worked, assess what didn't work. If you did all 4, you're ahead of 90% of the job seekers. If you did 3, that's still good, but finish the 4th day. If you did 2 or less, catch up this weekend. Week 3 starts on Monday. New actions, new momentum, but you need to finish the week strong. Let me summarize everything that you learned in the last 55 minutes, okay? You guys love when I do these summaries. I read the messages. Judge Susan Ilston, she blocked the Trump administration layoffs, called them politically motivated. 4,100 already fired so far. she can't bring them back, but block the future cuts. White House says 10,000 total people will be fired, laid off. That's the total that they're planning. The judge says no, and the fight continues. The Senate failed for the 9th time on Wednesday evening, voting 10th time today at 11 a.m. Eastern, and it probably is going to fail again. Day 16 of the shutdown. 750,000 people in the government have been furloughed, no end in sight. Xerox, they announced layoffs after Lexmark acquisition. Novo Nordisk, they're laying off thousands globally. Kent Ha, 37 years old from Portland. Intel laid him off in July, third layoff in 10 years. Using ChatGPT to write his resume, removing dates to fight age discrimination, only hearing back for entry-level jobs despite MBA. Patrick Lung, 53, he worked at Google for 10 years. Now he's a CTO at Fair Health. He says barrier to AI is lower than ever. You don't need to train models, just use them. AI skills pay 28% more, 43% if you have 2 skills or more. Jack and Jill, AI recruitment startup, 20 million raised yesterday, 49,000 users, founded 6 months ago. Sequoia Capital's Roelof Botha, he says this: venture capital is a return-free risk, and there's too much money going to some of these startups, and most startups will fail. Taiwan Semiconductor, 33 billion in revenue, up 30%, 15 billion in profit, up 39%. AI chip demand is real. They're making all kinds of money, just like NVIDIA. Week 2, day 4, message 5 people. LinkedIn response rate, 10 to 15%. Top performers, 25 to 30. 4-part template, is the hook, the context, the value, soft call to action, under 75 words. Whirlpool, 300 million Ohio expansion, 400 to 600 jobs. RTX, 53 million Massachusetts defense manufacturing growing. Morgan Stanley, record 18.2 billion in revenue investment, banking up 44%. Oracle, you only have 14 days left for free certifications. You better go and get that. AWS, only 18 days for the 50% off. Joseph, 11 days, and he'll be at work. That's the recap for today, guys. If week 2, day 4 has helped, if you're messaging 5 people today, if you learn how to write LinkedIn messages that get responses, if you've learned anything from the show today, make sure you hit the like button. Also, if you're new to the channel and haven't hit the subscribe button yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button to elevate to the unknown and for watching the Daily Climb. We do this every weekday, 7 a.m. Central to 8 a.m. Central. Position yourself before everyone else panics. Strategy, strategy, strategy. Tomorrow is week 2, day 5. Assess your week. What worked, what didn't, how to finish strong. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. If you need help, make sure that you book a coaching call with me, www.nextgenheights.com. Many of you guys are going to our old websites, the www.blkheights.com. That website is no longer our website. Well, it is our website, but we're using nextgenheights.com. Okay? nextgenheights.com, nextgenheights.com. And if you want feedback on your templates, all you got to do is book a coaching session with me or consider joining the Patreon, www.patreon.com/blackheights. We have message templates, we have response examples, we have it all. Okay? $5 a month, 1 coffee, get you the full playbook, link in the description. One more time, guys, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. We don't want you to hit the subscribe button. If you already subscribed, that will unsubscribe you. Thanks for rocking with me today as well, too. Omnika says, yes, the summary is a great thing. Life of Cam says diversified. Life of Cam is going to be hanging out with me tomorrow, man. I'm excited. Life of Cam is going to keep me up. I got to pick him up at 9 o'clock from the airport. We're going to be hanging, doing some sports on Saturday, Sunday, just hanging out, man. I'm looking forward to it, Life Cam. Life Cam, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. When cold messaging, I like to check if we have a mutual friend, an acquaintance, a colleague. Dad, that's a good way to go about doing it, my man. Absolutely. That's a good way to go about doing it. MLC says the Saturday calls are good. Yeah, the Saturday Patreon calls, they are fantastic. They are great. We get to it. MLC says the Patriots, loads of gems. Ashton James, thank you so much for the $5 super chat, my man. Jaquez, happy Friday Eve, all. Yep. Jaquez, it must be in a different city, state. Potentially country, right? Philippines right now. It's Friday. No, it's not Friday yet. It's Friday. It's Thursday evening. Anyway, Erica says, I like that approach. We'll try it. Take Back Trey says, man, people tear my inbox up with all this stuff. Scratching my head. I will start sending this clip so that they understand the inbox etiquette. Yep. I love it. Take Back Trey. Latoya says, my son is majoring in computer science. I have expressed his needs to learn AI plus a few other things related to computers. Good job, Latoya. See, this information may not be for you. This information could be for your son, your daughter, your niece, your nephew, whoever else, your cousin. That's why this information is important. I love it. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much for joining today. We will see you guys on tomorrow. Go out there and crush your Thursday. I'm going to crush mine. Going to absolutely crush today. Here's the thing. I already crushed the day already because I got up this morning. I'm feeling good. I'm here with you guys. My day has already been crushed. The rest of the crushing is the icing on the top. Love you guys. We will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out. Now have a blessed day. Bye, guys.